to lead in love. Well, good morning, everybody. Take a minute to greet some of those friends out there. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 All right, well, at this time we're going to invite our kids up. Any kids who are here with us today, you can come on up to the stage. We have our amazing teachers, and they are going to do their, we'll see, outdoor/indoor program, depending on how slushy it is out there. And we're going to sing all these wonderful children out to their classroom. 1, 2. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. Got Mother Nature and the human race. The world's got trees and bumblebees, rivers and lakes and the open seas, mountains and valleys and animals too, and a sun that shines on me and you. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. Got Mother Nature and the human race. We got Mother Nature and the human race.
Hello, there we are. Good morning. I am Cindy Clay. I'm the practitioner of the day, along with Joanne Allison, wherever she is. There she is. Hey. All right, if you have not silenced your cell phones, now is the time to do it. All right, so just join me in feeling the joy and the love and the life filling this room. We are in the presence of the One. And so I open my heart to receive, to be bathed in this love, and I invite you to join me there. We are here today collectively in a community of love. And so I welcome the words of Reverend Andrea. I love the music. I am so grateful to be here to partake of the richness of this service. And I say thank you. And so it is.
Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of love. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of love. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of love. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every step is holy. I'm standing on the edge, leaning out with every breath. There's a longing for something more. The path isn't clear, but I see a door. Awe and wonder to be found. I'm setting out for sacred ground. There's a stirring fire in me. Oh, blessed light, oh, mystery. Sing through my voice, play through my hands. Let the way be open. Sing through my voice. Sing through my voice, play through my hands. Let the way be open. I am standing on the edge, leaning out with every breath. I am longing for something more. The path isn't clear, but I see a door. Awe and wonder to be found. I'm setting out for sacred ground. There's a stirring, a fire in me. Oh, blessed light, oh, mystery. Sing through my voice, play through my hands. Let the way be open. Sing through my voice, play through my hands. Let the way be open. I am standing on the edge, leaning out with every breath. There's a longing for something more. The path isn't clear, but I see a door. Awe and wonder to be found. I'm heading out for sacred ground. There's a stirring, a fire in me. Oh, blessed light, oh, mystery. Sing through my voice, play through my hands. Let the way be open. Sing through my voice, play through my hands. Let the way be open. Sing through my voice. Sing through my voice, play through my hands. Let the way be open. Sing through my voice, play through my hands. Let the way be open. Let the way be open. Let the way be open.
You know, I think the instruments just don't like cold or something. Did it come back on? Okay, good. The heater, the piano, you know. So welcome again. So glad to be here. The theme for the year is living a beautiful life in the midst of uncertainty and change. But I'm shortening it from this point on to just living a beautiful life, okay? We already know about the uncertainty and change part, and, you know, this is a year of that for so many reasons. Gosh, where to start? So the topic for today is sabbatical notes, because I just arrived back from a beautiful sabbatical, and thank you all as I said before, for being the audience for all these wonderful people that I invited to come, and for being able to let me go and have an incredible experience. And so sabbatical notes, I could do a whole travelogue, but I'm not going to do that. But I will tell you different parts. Before I start, I want you to know that I have never in my entire adult life had 7 weeks off. Not ever. And Joe and I, we were married in the midst of childbearing and working and all of that. We'd never had 11 days together by ourselves. It was amazing. It was so great. In fact, at the end of it, Joe goes, well, I guess we could retire together. Because it was sort of a question, we'd never done anything but childbearing and working together. So sabbatical notes, really, I wanted to talk about also the theme of this month, which is start where you are. It's one of my favorite things that I have gained from the Science of Mind teachings, is this notion, this understanding. I'm going to put it in a way that Ernest Holmes might not have. This understanding of delusion. And what I mean by that is this. For sacred humans, maybe not you, but for sacred humans in general, there's a tendency to want to be somewhere other than we are, and to want to have something other than what we have. And that's all fine at one level, except that the problem comes in sometimes for some, that because there's this longing to be something other than we are and something other than where we are, we forget that in order to have that dream, we have to start from where we actually are. And if we spent a long time pretending that we're not where we are, those of you in recovery know what I'm speaking to, but we're all sort of in recovery from this idea that we want to be different than we are, so we pretend a lot about where we actually are. And it's super easy to do. I do it, so I imagine some of you do too. It's easy to just not be present, right? I'm not the only one in the room, right? Yeah. And so starting where we are is a critical thing. But so what does that mean? What does that look like? And why is this part of sabbatical notes? Well, the last time we went to this beautiful little town called La Manzanilla and shared the incredible house that Dan Dietrich and Heidi Ruth built, the last time we went, it was 75 degrees. There was no humidity, really. It was beautiful. This time, it was 91 with 90% humidity the entire time. Not a single day not. I think one day it got down to 88. At night, if I got up in the middle of the night, it was like 80. So it was a whole different experience. And for a little while, I didn't want to be in that experience. So I was exactly what I'm talking about. I was not wanting to be where I was. And I was with people who also largely didn't want to be where they were in terms of the heat and the humidity. But over time, it was like, well, this is it. And that is what happens to us eventually, is we're like, well, this is it. I mean, this is what it is, so what am I going to do with it? I could suffer, and a lot of people choose that route. I did on and off. But I could also just embrace this and pay attention to where my resistances are and where my opportunities are. So I'm talking about me, but I'm talking about you too. Okay, got it? This is all metaphor, where I live and breathe. So why would we pay attention to our resistances as well as our opportunities? I mean, positive thinking is like, well, look for the opportunity, not so much the resistance. Well, in our teaching, actually, everything is a path to awakening, to a more and more beautiful life. Everything. All of our emotions, the ones we really like and the ones we really don't. All of our thoughts, the ones that are really kind of screwy and the ones that aren't. All of our experiences. And so part of living a beautiful life is becoming completely awakened in the moment to what's actually going on with thought and feeling, and then working with that. Because you know this, and I know this. We live in a vast, invisible field of energy. We can call it God. We can call it the quantum space. We can call it the Tao. But the fact of the matter is that we are surrounded by, enfolded in, and expressing through this incredible, vast energy. And so everything is made of energy. Every single thing is made of energy. And how we relate to it affects it. It responds to us by corresponding to us. So when we choose a path of suffering, like I did, middle of the day, 91 degrees, 90% humidity, no, nothing but fans. And I chose the path of suffering. Basically the energy goes, oh, okay, we're doing that. Oh, okay, sure. We can suffer. I know how to do that by means of you. You do it a lot, But I could also use my thoughts and feelings, even the resistances, to pay attention to, well, what is this? This is just the world. I chose to be here in subtropical Mexico. So what is this? Do I need to suffer, or can I just sort of be in it? And so there were times when I was also completely in bliss. And, that vast field of energy did. Oh, you want that? Oh, I know how to do that too. Bliss is great. Let's do bliss. It doesn't matter to the infinite vast field of energy that is holding us, because it's all of it. And it loves us so much that whatever we choose, it says yes. Yes, yes, yes. Sure, you can do that. It doesn't say, like your mom might have, what the hell are you doing? Why are you choosing that? You don't need to do that. Why don't you do it my way? You'd be better, No. The vast field of energy is basically like, oh, okay, sure, we're doing that now by means of you. So what Joe and I realized is, because we had these 11 days after our friends left of like precious time that we'd never had together, we were very intentional about what we wanted to do with that time. And this is part of learning to work with the vast field of energy, is being very intentional. And so we decided, before we ever left here, that we would create a retreat schedule, and that every day we would follow a pattern of that retreat schedule. So every morning we got up really early and meditated. And then in that part of the world, subtropical fruits are incredibly ripe and lovely. So we would then go down to the kitchen and make a smoothie and have a smoothie. And then we would go out before the light had even come fully into the sky and do a bird walk, because we love looking at birds. And so we would hike the hills and go on these different dirt roads up, because this is a very hilly town, and look for birds and be in where we were. And then once the bird walk was over, we would come back, we would have breakfast, and we would do Tai Chi together. Our form of Tai Chi is called Tislagi. That happens every Tuesday at 7 here in the morning. After that, we had creative hour or two. We brought all kinds of things that we could do in that time. But I knew what I wanted to do was thank you. I knew that I could not even begin in words to tell you how precious that time was to me. And so one of our dear practitioners, Francine Kitchen, happens to be like, I don't know how fast you type. I've been telling people 300 words a minute, but it's a lot. And so before I left, she had transcribed all of the talks from 2023 and had pulled out the prayers. And so I took those with me. And so every day during our creative time, Joe would paint or he would do other things, and I would work on my thank you gift. And so after the service, if you want to go into the classroom, you'll find this. And what this is, it may not be relevant to you, and so don't feel any obligation. And if you're new, still, it's for you if you'd like. But spoken word prayers are not the same as written. And so I worked through 50-some prayers, bringing them into a readable format. And I found out, because of the transcription, that I say "so" a lot. I'll work on that. So the Creative Project, yeah. So the Creative Project, yeah. Now you're going to go, eh? Well, I'll notice it. But those are there in the classroom for you as a thank you. And thank you, Francine. Since energy is the fabric of our being and it responds to us, then being very intentional is part of living a beautiful life, but it doesn't manifest itself fully unless we include a couple of different things. And so for me, one of the things that I learned is not only do we have to be intentional with our thoughts and feelings, but we need to, on a regular basis, I need to, maybe you do too, put ourselves on a regular basis in a position where intentional thought is married to love, compassion, joy, happiness, kindness, all of those more elevated emotions. And when we marry those two together, the intentional idea and the elevated energy of those emotions, that's when things really get going. And so one example of that in Mexico, it was a particularly hot day, and I had the day before been bitten on the back of the leg by a Rottweiler. Yeah, and it was super scary, as you might imagine. And I'm still flirting with, do I have rabies? I don't have rabies. But and what I had was a huge pinch mark right here, size of a Rottweiler's mouth, right? And my first reaction was to turn around and go, no! It didn't faze him, so we left. But so I spent a day in PTSD, and then it was like, okay, I actually was very, very okay on one level, but I was freaked out. So Joe's sister heard about it, and she said, oh, that happens to me in San Francisco. She's a big walker. She said, you know what I do? I always carry rocks. So from then on, Joe and I carried rocks everywhere we went. And that was helpful to my trauma. But the next day, we were wanting to go to this restaurant that was about 1.5 miles away, and we were walking in the heat and the humidity. And we got to the middle of town, which is like not even 1/4 mile. And Joe looked at me and said, why don't we go to the pizza place? Which was right there. And so we did, because he could see I was telling Spirit I was suffering in so many ways. So this place, we called it the pizza place, but it was a restaurant that had an upstairs open, and it looked out over the main plaza, which was about the size of this sanctuary. This is not a big town. So everything's happening in this plaza. So we're up above it, and right out from where we were sitting were these 3 palm trees, really tall palm trees. And we got there, we didn't start walking until it was starting to get not as hot. So the birds started landing in these trees by the pound. I mean, flocks of sparrows, flocks of finches, flocks of things I didn't know the names for were in these trees as we're sitting there waiting for our Mexican-style pizza. And it was one of those times where we put ourselves in a place of great joy, because you can't sit and listen to the birds talking to each other and getting themselves all set for the night and without feeling this incredible gratitude for the earth and gratitude for this place that has this kind of thing happening every night. And most people don't even notice, right? Well, I was noticing, and it lifted everything. So intentional thought with the intentional placing of ourselves in positions where we feel joy, where we feel awe, where we feel kindness, where we feel compassion. These things, when they come together, are like dynamo creators of what we want in our lives, whatever that is. You know, for some of us, we need more money, so create money. That's how you do it. Some of us, we're set, we're good. But what we'd really like is a deeply loving relationship. What we'd really like is health. What we'd really like is spiritual illumination. That's how it happens. And it's not complicated when you hear it. What happens is the third thing I wanted to talk about, and then we'll maybe stop. Maybe not. I don't know. The third thing that happens for us as sacred humans is, you may have noticed that the world is fairly complex these days. Unless you're in a little town in Mexico with not much Wi-Fi and, no car and just each other, you're probably having a lot of complexity. You're having the internet and all that it brings. You're having immediate availability by phone. And I could go on and on. You know what I'm talking about. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, you name it, we got it. And we have information at our fingertips. It's lovely, but it's also very complex. And so what sacred humans have been doing for all time, but especially now, is they have created habits of living to help manage the complexity. And so we develop these routines for ourselves without even really realizing we're doing it. We just develop routines. And so, I'll betcha, in fact, I'll ask for a show of hands. I'll betcha there are a lot of us that when we step into the shower, we do the exact same thing when we're in that shower. Maybe for you, I'll tell you mine, okay? I get wet and then I shampoo my hair, put conditioner in, soap myself up, rinse it all off, and then turn the shower off and wipe the water off. How many of you have a routine like that? Raise your hand somewhere in your life, right? I won't even go into the coffee ritual. I mean, there's a time, right? And there's a way, and there's a particular kind of being, and there's and so we do that. There's nothing wrong with that. So don't feel bad about that. The only thing about it is that after a while, we're not aware anymore that we're doing that. And so when something new is trying to come in and express, because we've said we wanted that, these habits of acting and living and thinking and being and talking can get in the way. They really can. And so, we want this wonderful whatever, and it starts to happen, and it's inconvenient to the habits if we're not careful. And, depends on how much you want it, but it's also how much more awake we can be with it, so that those habits become choices again. Because at one point they were a choice. I never met a person who smoked their first cigarette and then from then on it was a habit. That first cigarette was a choice. That first drink is a choice. That way of doing showers is a choice. That way of living is a choice at some point. And then we routinize it so that we can deal with the complexity. So change can be tricky, because if we're not careful, the routines begin to run the show. They're like computer programs that are just running in the background all the time. And so for me, one of the things that I got to do when we take ourselves out of the norm, There's no air conditioning, there's no car, there's limited internet, there's a different language, there's taking myself out of the routine was fabulous because I got to take a real good look at habits and ways of thinking and ways of speaking and ways of doing. And I couldn't do those things there. It was fabulous. What a break, what a relief. And then I came home. And so coming home, I was very aware that I had choice. I could do things differently. And I could pick the things that I wanted, and I could also work on letting go of the things that no longer served me. I haven't let go of coffee, but I could. So that's kind of, if we're going to live a beautiful life, especially in the midst of change and uncertainty, becoming aware of the power of our thinking, feeling, nature in this vast field of energy, and the incredible gift we've been given to work with ourselves to bring forward things. That's all that energy really wants, is to express anew in different ways all the time through everything. So if we really want to be a vehicle for that energy and want to become more and more and more of it, we can really pay attention. We can awaken in the midst of our life. We can choose to use everything as a pathway to awakening, and then continue the journey of choosing and opening. Trying to see if there is anything else. So much, really. I guess the other thing that's really important in that pathway of thought and feeling, putting ourselves in positions where we're opened up, looking at habits, is one of the things that I struggle with, I don't know if you do, is in creating new things, new experiences, new opportunities, one of the challenges is knowing what I want. Do you have that? Spirit doesn't really care. As I've mentioned, I can suffer, and Spirit goes, oh, okay, we're doing that, So getting clear about what I want is part of creating a blueprint so that I can, really work in that. And a lot of times I'm like, well, I want to be happy. Is that enough? Not really. What do you mean? Why? And that's the question that we teach our Science Mind students, is to ask, well, why do you want that? Why? No, let's use a more specific, like, I want a new car. Oh, good, okay. You can do that. Why? What does that car mean to you? Why do you want it? Well, my car doesn't have all-wheel drive, and I live in a place where I need all-wheel drive sometimes, and so it would make me feel a lot safer. Oh, okay, so you want a new car to feel safer. Great. But someone else, well, that's not why they want a new car at all. They want a new car because they're embarrassed by their car, and they want something that's shiny and pretty and new and smells better. Okay, well, okay, now you know. And there's about 1 billion reasons why someone would want a car or would want anything. So getting clear on why allows the intentional thought and the elevated emotion to work directly with the why. So that's powerful too. I think that's enough for now. I have all these, well, I'll tell you one thing that has nothing to do with my talk. This will be the travelogue piece. So every morning on those early morning bird walks, a lot of times we were walking up really rough dirt roads, up and up and up and up and up and up. And we thought we knew where we were, and we didn't. And so we were on this road and up and up and up and up and up, and turned into a dead end. And at the tops of all of these hills are houses that were built largely by Canadians that go there every winter. So, but also people from the United States. So we were at a dead end, but we were at a dead end with one mansion here and one mansion there, and then an incredible drop-off that looked out over a jungle valley with a river. It was amazing. I could see why they wanted to be up there. And so we're kind of like, oh, well, darn, we're not where we thought we were. And so, we're looking out at the view, and Joe has the binoculars, and he's looking through the binoculars, and I'm a little above him, the road real steep, so I'm a little above him, and I look down at him, and then I look across, and there's this dead tree, and on the top of the tree is a bird called the crested caracara, which is the Mexican eagle. It's an incredible bird. I wish I could describe it, but it's too hard. And he's just sitting there, and Joe is looking at the little parrots, and I'm like, Joe. He doesn't hear me. Joe, because I don't want him to go, I said, so he finally goes, what? And I said, and so we got to watch this incredibly majestic, trippy-looking bird, just, overseeing his domain, and then eventually lifting off and flying out over that valley. It was an incredible experience. As were all of the birds there, the little green parrotlets, they're called, that were tiny little parrots that traveled in flocks, and giant great frigate birds that sailed on the currents of the air above the ocean. So every afternoon we would go in the heat of the day and swim out past the wave line and flip over and watch them. And the flocks of pelicans that didn't care if we were there in the ocean, and would just dive bomb for fish a couple feet away. So that was part of the experience that you gave us. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. I almost said so. How about if I do a little prayer, and then we'll have the offertory. So, I did it. Woo-hoo. This is going to be a neat challenge. I'm knowing, for you and for me, that this vast field of energy that's holding us and moving through us is the most incredible thing, always seeking to create by means of us, always seeking to bring forward into the world more and more of its energy. I choose in this moment to focus on that which is the most beautiful in my life, and how I would like to bring that forward even more. And in that focus, the vast energy that is moving in me says yes. And I am so grateful as it unfolds. And so it is. Okay. I'm going to invite our wonderful ushers to come up and the band to come up, and I'll thank you ahead of time for any gifts you can give. Also, I don't know if you got a report on our Giving Intention program that happened while I was in the process of leaving, but we didn't quite hit our goal, but the budget team worked really hard and found a way to make sure that we are financially just great this year, and thanks to all of you who signed up for that program.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. This healing, this healing, this healing love. This healing, this healing, this healing love. Thank you for this peace, Spirit. Thank you for this peace. Thank you for for this peace, Spirit. Thank you for this peace. This healing, this healing, this healing peace. This healing, this healing, this healing peace. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
So before we actually have the announcement roll, I wanted to, right before I left, our dear Reverend Zena decided to choose a different path than being a minister here. And we didn't know a lot about what to say. So I made an announcement like, she's chosen another path of ministry. We're so happy, you know, wish her well, et cetera, et cetera. But of course, because there was no story attached, maybe not you, but some people made up stories. And so I don't have a lot of more information, but I wanted to tell you a little bit more about that. So Reverend Zena was hired as my potential replacement. So, you know, we had a succession plan. And from the very beginning, we said, this is an experiment, because this is not the typical way that people have someone take over the center. But I was trying to make it, you know, graceful and easy and lovely for you all. So Zena and I were like, it's an experiment. But I think in neither of our minds was the possibility that it would not work. And it didn't. It just didn't. You know, it's one of those things where wow, it just didn't. And at that point, you know, we tried to find a way that it could. And what I really want you to know is how hard your board worked to try to discern how we could make it work and how they could support both Zena and I in making it work. And it just didn't, you know. And so they literally had back-to-back meetings and came up with lists of questions for both Zena and I, and really, really diligent, loving, kind, intelligent board we have here at the center. And so I wanted you to know there was a lot of work to try to, you know, see if it could work, and it just couldn't. And so Zena is pursuing a path that's called Focus Ministry. And it's a lovely path. It doesn't involve as much of this, like, oh, it's snowing, who am I going to get to shovel the walks? And, oh, the heater broke, I guess this morning at 7 I'd better call the repairman. You know, it doesn't involve a lot of that. So she gets to do her skill set in a really wonderful way and take it out into a much larger audience. And so I'm sad, and I'm sure some of you are sad too, that it didn't work. And I actually was kind of like, wow, Andrea, you didn't have any kind of backup plan if it didn't work. But that would be because I'm an incredibly positive person, and I really thought it would. So that's what happened. And we're moving forward. People have said, well, are you going to hire someone else? And the answer is no. I am now reverting to the way that the organization thinks we should get a new minister. And you'll hear more about that when that time comes. But for this year, I'm here. I'm teaching a lot because I'm pretty excited to be back and to be offering what I know. If you have further questions, that's really about the sum of it. But if you have any questions or you want any support, I'm back, and I would love to be that person for you. And all you need to do is call the office, and we'll set up a time where we can talk if you need further support. All right, so thank you. So let's look at what the announcements are. And isn't that pretty? So I wanted to make sure you all knew that, let's say, you know, it snowed today or last night and it's as, you know, a foot deep. We're going to put on the center website, on the center Facebook page, and for those of you on the constant contact email list. We'll put it out in that as well, that the center's closed and that we're moving to live stream only. And so that's how we do that. I know this is a really weird day to do this because of the weather, but we'd really like you to come to an Earth Stewards meeting and hear kind of what we're about, and also kind of see if this might be a nice volunteer area for you. We brought food because, that's a nice thing to do. And we're going to meet in here. We're showing a very short TED Talk by a member of the Lala Sioux tribe who has created this incredible organization that deals with taking responsibility for what we can do for the earth. So we're going to show that, have a discussion, talk a little bit about what the Earth Stewards are about, and kind of invite you in or not. It's up to you, but we thought this would be a nice way. So food, TED Talk, talking, and then we'll see. So that's happening today, 11:45. I teach a class for those of you who have taken 2 Science of Mind classes called The Inward Journey, and this is the last one. There are 4 in this series, and this is the 4th, and it's a really interesting one called Through the Secret Door. And you can make up all kinds of stories about that, and that's all I'm going to say. Let's see. So while we're gone, the wonderful teachers that we have, Nico and Nevin, they have to have time off. And so Joe created this lovely group of teachers. Kalish is one of them. Heidi was one of them. And a lot of them basically said, well, I've been doing this for a 1.5 years and I don't want to do it anymore. So Joe's looking for a couple of other people that would be willing to spell Nico and Nevin with him. He would always be part of that. And it's very random. It's like, spring break's coming up. They're probably going to want a Sunday off during spring break, maybe 2. And that's when that would occur. So also if one of them gets sick, we have a policy that there's always 2 teachers with the kids in case one of the kids hurts himself or needs to go to the bathroom or whatever. So if you can volunteer and that sounds like something fun, I want it to be fun. It is largely an outdoor program, so you have to like being outside. There's a sign up at the Ask Me desk. And then we have this really cool thing happening in March, and we need information from you if you would like to come and when. So what this is the opportunity to come together, have breakfast, and then it's for people who own their own businesses, have an entrepreneurial business, or are interested in bringing spiritual ideas to the business that they're in. Am I saying that right? Yeah. And Cindy and Leo are part of the team that's creating Spirit at Work. So there's a survey that's going to be out on the 28th and the 4th at the Ask Me desk. And if you're interested in attending, we would love to know things like what day is best for you, what time is best for you. We're thinking breakfast, but let us know. So that's happening. And then we plan to start Spirit at Work in an actual have time together, etc., in March. And there have been some changes in our community cooking. The wonderful folks at Bridge to Services have been invited into a larger nonprofit that can help them do a lot more. But one of the things about being with another larger nonprofit is there's more rules. And so we were planning a community cooking event for the unhoused through Bridges to Services, but now you have to have a food handler's license and a commercial kitchen. Darn it. So they're working on that. Maybe they'll find a solution, a midpoint. But in the meantime, we wanted to invite you into cooking for our unhoused neighbors. And there's a team of people that have been making these care cookies for the last 2 years. And some of them, because they've been doing it that long, want to stop. And so we're going to do a big community cook of making these care cookies. They're really high protein and high fat. And that's because when you're roughing it out in the woods forever and ever, that's what you need. So we can't bring our elevated understanding of what's good for us to this project. In other words, there's going to be peanut butter, there's going to be cream cheese, there's going to be things that maybe you don't ever eat, but they love them. And so this is happening on February 10th. Right now in the sanctuary, there's a list of ingredients. So if you can't be there on the 10th, but you could provide some of the ingredients for the cookies, you could sign up to bring those. You can bring them anytime between now and the 10th. And so we're going to do that. And I also am hoping that you'll sign up and come and cook with me, because making cookies is very fun. So that's happening. And then some of you know Sheila Goldsmith lost her studio space. So for this month, we provided a space for her to do her improv studio group. And that's happening this coming Wednesday from 7 to 9. And you can call Sheila. Her number is on our website if you don't have it here, and be part of an improv group. She's really good at what she does, and it's very funny and very fun. So feel free to join her for that. That's it. That's enough, huh? Oh, no, it's not, because did you know that it's almost Girl Scout cookie time? And that Eliza here, come on up, has been doing Girl Scout cookie signups here at the center since she was 6. And so here she is to tell you a little bit about what's going on with that.
Hi.
Yeah, I think it's on. Go ahead, like this.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Okay, yeah. Okay. So I'm Eliza. Many of you guys have known me since I was 5 or 6. I've been coming here since since 2016. And last year, I sold 3,200 boxes of Girl Scout cookies as a Girl Scout. That was 46 hours of booths and 20 or more hours of prepare work and driving. And yeah, my mom drove me around.
Yay, Mom.
So I've learned in Girl Scouts how to talk to so many different people at every time possible. I've talked to thousands of people a year, and that's a big help in social
Development? Yeah.
Social development. I've learned a lot of stuff. And now my goal this year is not that big because I've transferred back into public school from homeschool. So this year I'm going for $1,800 for me to go to Greece in 2025. Wow. It's going to be $5,000, which I have to make in 2 years. And I'm going to go to Athens and all the cities, and I'm going to take a 4-day cruise around the islands too. And that's in July 2025. So today and next Sunday, we're going to be out at the table out there, and we're going to have our sign-up sheets. And we can pay with cash, credit card, Venmo, PayPal, because we have QR codes or my link that you can go to order online.
It's gotten so sophisticated now.
Yeah. And last year, we also donated $1,200 of toilet paper to Ferndale Community Services, along with 560 boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, that's good. And let's say you don't eat cookies. That would be a travesty. But if you don't eat cookies, you could buy a box of cookies for the unhoused. Just saying. So there's that. All right, Tabor, let's stand if we can and sing our way into gifts and fun.
Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is hatred, I will love. instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. I am an instrument of peace. Let's sing, I am an instrument of peace. 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 You all have a great week. Stay safe out there. We'll see you again soon.